Welcome back to the Thrift Store Rundown, helping your kids gain more confidence in cooking with pop culture, safely, stylishly, and frugally, on a budget this back-to-school season. Washington. While they can't get a lot of stuff done right, at least they know how to put their feet to the fire of a gas stove when it comes to boosting the education and nutrition of America's youth, in fun and creative ways. Okay, let the kids handle the fun and creativity. That's something that Washington just doesn't know how to do yet. Nevertheless, out of their honest efforts, as well as those of school administrators, staffs and staffers, and other interested community members, comes this cookbook for child care centers, schools, and homes, provided that those homes have 25 or 50 children. Recipes for Healthy Kids, a product of the Let's Move initiative, from former First Lady Michelle Obama, who I talked about yesterday in my Wakes Away Everyday review, and the USDA. This also comes with a companion DVD, which you can put into your computer, so you can download this in PDF format, recipes and all. I'll leave a link to the USDA's website below so you can download PDF files of some of the recipes contained in this cookbook. I would not say it's a cookbook for homes unless you have a Gosling-sized family or, heaven forbid, a Duggar-sized family. And you know exactly who I'm referencing. If you have either of those things going for you, well, you won't have much of a dilemma with leftovers. Otherwise, if you actually run a mini daycare center in your home with 25 or 50 children, basically a mini school clientele, which is why this is also a cookbook for schools, well, you'd definitely be set because the recipes serve 25 to 50 children. All this came about because of a Recipes for Healthy Kids competition launched by the White House and the USDA. Grand prize winners, like the porcupine sliders, tasty tarts, and the Tuscan smoked turkey and bean soup, were awarded a total of $12,000 in grant money to benefit school lunch programs. The recipes contained herein focus on key food groups that are underconsumed according to the USDA: dark green and orange vegetables, dry beans and peas, and whole grains. This also has a fair amount of lean protein and healthy dairy options. You'll find more information about the competition, the food groups, and a list of food allergens, and much, much more in the introduction. Here are some tips from the 10 Tips Nutrition Education series. Make half of your plate veggies and fruits, include whole grains, know what to look for on the ingredient list, add lean protein, don't forget the dairy, a cup of fat-free or low-fat milk, avoid extra fat, and try new foods. Keep it interesting by picking out new foods you've never tried before, like mango, lentils, or the ubiquitous, overrated in my opinion, kale. The grand prize winners, once again, the porcupine sliders, the tasty tarts, and the Tuscan smoked turkey and bean soup. The grand prize winner overall, the popular choice, people's choice winner, and a first place winner. Basically runner up to the grand prize, but all three recipes winners according to the cookbook. Plus additional runner-up winners: Sikh penne and Mediterranean Kiwan salad in the whole grain section, Central Valley harvest bake and stir-fry fajita chicken, squash, and corn in the dark green and orange vegetables chapter, and for dry beans and peas, second place winner, lentils of the Southwest. I'm going to highlight 3 recipes in here, and because this was based in Washington, or at least started in Washington, we kick things off with a chicken curry casserole. This is from the Garfield Elementary School in our nation's capital. This falls under the whole grains category. In its traditional spiced Indian dish, tender chicken strips, fresh carrots, diced celery, and brown rice are tossed in a creamy curry sauce and baked until golden. The ingredient list and instructions for preparing the recipes are so vastly different from any other cookbook, conventional or otherwise, that I have reviewed to date on TSR. And again, the servings, 25 to 50, definitely indicate that this cookbook is more suited for a child care center than the average 4-person family home. That is, again, unless you have like 20 plus kids in your own home. Next up, Roasted Fish Crispy Slaw Wrap from Liberty Middle School in Orlando, Florida. So highlighted because this was invented in part by an executive sous chef at Universal Studios, Universal Orlando Resort. That would be Ed Collivan. There are many benefits to living in Orlando, Florida. Liberty Middle School realized this when they learned a local chef from Universal Studios in Orlando would be a member on the Recipe Challenge team, Ed Collivan. This is his Roasted Fish Crispy Slaw Wrap. This falls under the dark green and orange vegetables category. A combination of colors and textures that overflows with fresh vegetables, spicy fish, and a burst of citrus, all contained in a whole wheat tortilla with fresh avocado. Florida might get a bad rap for just about everything, but certainly not for being one of the ultimate vacation destinations, especially for kids, and especially for kid-invented, kid-tested, and kid-approved cuisine, approved by the masses. Finally, Eagle Pizza from the Byers Elementary School in Byers, Oklahoma. This falls under the dry beans and peas section. A delicious combination of pizza and taco. So next time you want to choose between taco night and pizza night, well, choose no more. You can have both. This recipe is made with whole grain tostada shells, refried beans, shredded cheese, and a stack of colorful veggies. While I'm sad to say there are no contributions from any New Jersey schools, elementary, middle, or grammar, I gotta say, the recipes in here, as unconventional as they might be to follow for an average 4 or 5 or 6 person family home, they do sound delicious otherwise, and are definitely more suited for an average childcare center. This was originally purchased, however, for 50% off the price of $3.99 and originally came wrapped in plastic. Because there is no mention of any New Jersey elementary school in here, and hey, we are the garden state after all. The White House had a kitchen garden all to its own, so why not any garden state pride? Well, for that little omission, I'm giving this 4.5 out of 5 claps. Otherwise, for those who are looking to move it, and feeding nutritious and delicious meals to kids by the masses, if this doesn't inspire you to move it, I don't know what will. Thanks for watching, and parents, here's hoping your cookies don't crumble this back-to-school season. We got one last cooking lesson on deck for tomorrow, so gather the family around. It's going to be a tasty one. Until then, I'll catch you on the thrift side.
Making dinner. It's so routine you could probably do it with your eyes closed. But sometimes we forget that it took years of watching an adult we knew make dinner, years of learning how to measure and how to taste before we were able to get that job right. Kids love to help with grown-up activities, and when you let them help out, that routine can add a sense of calm or regularity to their day. Now, it may not seem like a big deal, but when you show your child different sizes of measuring cups and spoons, they're learning basic concepts like bigger and smaller. And by measuring ingredients, they're even doing a little math. The more the child you care for can work with their hands, the more they develop motor skills and walk away with a good feeling because they helped you out.